is Tembi Locke. I am an author. I wrote a book called From Scratch, which came out last year, and I am honored that Soaring Spirits has asked me to be a part of and participate in the Season of Hope. I really love talking about writing and the role of writing as a tool for grief. My husband, late husband, passed away in 2012 after a long battle with cancer. I was his caregiver for 10 years, and it was during those 10 years, actually pretty early on, that I found my way to writing. And I initially did it simply as a way to sort of make sense of my lived experience. I needed something that was just for me, a place where I could go and write all my thoughts, my feelings, the things that were hard to articulate to others, the things I was embarrassed to say, ashamed to say, the things I thought might be hurtful to my partner, even my resentments as a caregiver. Putting all of that in a safe space on the page was very cathartic and also very healing for me. After Saro passed away in 2012, and I began the journey as a newly widowed single mom, grieving. I had lost my best friend, I had lost the father of my child, the man I loved deeply and had spent half of my life with. Where could I go to even begin to express that kind of loss? And I had loving neighbors, family, friends at my side, but I also needed a very private place that was just for me. And for me, that was writing. And initially, it began by writing in a journal and writing letters to him. I was continuing a kind of ongoing conversation with him, even though we were separated, obviously, by death. Those writings really changed everything for me. And in a lot of ways, I woke up thinking about it. When I'd wake up, and normally I would turn over to talk to him, I didn't have him to turn over to talk to, so I just pulled out my journal and I got my pen and I just started writing whatever came to my mind, what I wanted to say to him. And I did that for months and months. And at times I even wrote whole just letters to him. All of that served me not only in the moment to sort of like lift it off of my chest and put it onto the page, but later as a writer, I looked back at those early journal entries, at those very raw and deeply emotional letters that I'd written to him. And I began to see a kind of an arc of both our love, but also of my grief. That arc and my understanding of it would eventually become the book that I wrote from scratch. But I could not have written the book without having all of those very quiet early mornings and late nights and in the middle of the night writing sessions with myself for no other purpose than to try to deeply understand what I was feeling. So I would deeply encourage anyone out there, especially during this time and during this season, to not shy away from writing your feelings down. Whether you do it as a letter, whether you do it as a journal entry, whether you do it as just a list, whether you do it as a kind of way of hopes and dreams, it doesn't matter. What matters is the doing, because in writing, you are inviting yourself to get close to your most deepest and heartfelt feelings, and that is a beginning step toward healing. And during this time when there's so much noise in the world, and also the holidays are so incredibly heightened, especially for those of us who know grief intimately, and if you were in that first year, or 2 years, or 3 years, or 5, or beyond, this season is always charged. So if you do nothing else, perhaps as a gift to yourself in your season of hope, is to take the time to be with yourself. And even if it's just 5 minutes, it's okay. And by the way, if you're averse to writing, if that's like a hard thing for you to do and you don't want to do it, talk into your phone. You can just, record yourself saying what it is. The main thing is getting it out. So that's my advice as a writer and as a widowed person and as a human being during a difficult time, is carving out a little space to be with yourself can be incredibly, incredibly valuable. So I wish you well, I wish you healing, and I wish you eternal love and grace as you navigate this time, as we all do. And may your special one be held close, and may you be in beautiful conversation with them from now and throughout eternity. Thank you.